Titanic, a night of courage and kindness. In April 1912, the Titanic left Southampton for New York, bright as a palace and strong as a mountain. People called her unsinkable. On board were the rich, with trunks and evening clothes, and the poor, with small bags and big hopes. Eleanor was a young stewardess on sea deck. She smoothed bed covers, carried tea, and found lost gloves with a calm smile. She liked the ship's quiet hum at night and the way moonlight painted silver lines on the ocean. Michael O'Rourke, a farmer's son from Ireland, traveled third class. In his coat pocket he kept a photo of his family and a letter from his mother. He stood at the stern and practiced the word opportunity, tasting each sound as if it were a promise. Mrs. Bennet from Boston sailed first class with her son, Henry. Their cabin smelled of flowers and polished wood. At sunset, she walked the promenade, counting his steps and telling him stories about lighthouses and brave sailors. For 3 days, the voyage was music, soup, and laughter. The decks shone, the engines beat like a steady heart. Wireless messages warned of ice, but the sea looked harmless, and the stars hung low and bright. Near midnight on April 14th, a pale shape rose from the dark, an iceberg, silent and sudden. There was a long scrape. The ship shuddered and grew still. Doors opened. Voices asked, "What was that?" Water began to creep where no water should be. Officers gave quiet orders. Eleanor knocked on doors, handing out life jackets and steady words. Mrs. Bennet wrapped Henry in a blanket and followed the line to the boats. Michael helped a young couple with a sleeping child, then stepped back and let the father take a seat. The band played to calm shaking hands. Ropes hissed, boats dropped, stars looked close enough to touch. Some boats left half-filled. Some passengers refused to believe. Eleanor tightened a scarf for an old woman and said, "Breathe with me." Michael gave his coat to a boy who had lost his father in the crowd. The ship tilted like a question being asked. Lights blinked and faded. There was a deep, torn metal sound as the bow sank and the stern rose. Cold air burned in the lungs. In the boats, oars dipped and lifted, and prayers drifted across the water like smoke. A light appeared on the horizon, the Carpathia. Lanterns swung over her railings. Blankets and hot drinks met freezing hands. Names were called. Some were answered. Some never would be. Mrs. Bennet told Henry the lighthouse story again, because the light had, in fact, come. Days later in New York, the pier was a forest of faces, hope and fear pressed together. Eleanor stepped ashore with a borrowed coat and a new silence inside her. She had seen pride, panic, and grace in a single night and knew which one lasted. Michael's name was not on the survivors list, but the boy who wore his coat lived to tell of the kindness of a stranger. People argued later about steel, speed, and blame, but the small truths kept floating. A shared blanket, a place given up, a song played to steady strangers. The Titanic sailed for only a few days. Her lesson sails on. Ships may sink, but courage and kindness do not.